Hey all, welcome back to the channel. We're doing something a little bit different today. It's not going to be for everyone, but for those who do have interest in it, I think it's going to be pretty informative and enlightening. We're going to be talking about set pieces, especially those that I plan to use with my stop motion series Universal Collision. And if you don't know Universal Collision, it's an ongoing story. If you don't know it, go check it out, man. Maybe after this review. Don't judge me by the earliest episodes. They're rough. There's no doubt about it. Some people have asked me, actually a lot of people ask me, why don't you just go back and remaster them? Because it's not only an ongoing story, it is the story of my evolution in this art form. While I still have a lot to learn, I've come a long way. And I like to be able to show people that if you have an idea, if you have a story to tell, just start doing it. Know that you're not going to be very good starting off, but you'll always be able to improve. And sets certainly help that. While it's not my forte in making them, thankfully, it is Dragonflies. And that's going to be our focus. The sets this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe while you're at it. Light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor. All the groups that I am either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media. All those links are in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, use the donate link or hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. And yes, today we'll be talking about sets, Autobot and Decepticon. I only have limited space to store some of this stuff, so the duality that Dragonfly was able to do so that the same pieces could be used for Autobot and Decepticon is impressive to me. A couple of little specific set pieces that he threw in there as well, also impressive. But there's one thing that kind of stands out as really interesting above all of it. But before we can look at the set pieces, I want to give a shout out to Lily first. She's 4 and she drew Optimus Prime, and he looks like this. And when a 4-year-old tells you that that's Optimus Prime, guess what? That's Optimus Prime, no questions asked. Okay, so without any further ado, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at these sets. And yes, indeed, now that we have the kind of introduction out of the way, we know we're doing something a little different here with sets. We also have taken a look at Lily's beautiful art. When a 4-year-old tells you it's Optimus Prime, man, it's Optimus Prime. These are, thanks to Dragonfly, of course, sets that will be used throughout Season 3 of Universal Collision. I know a lot of people are wondering, where is the Season 2 season finale? Man, my life is just busy and slammed. I'm trying. It's a slow process, much slower than I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. But it is all filmed, working on putting it together, and the voices and the music and everything else, it's just that it's time consuming because they are big. But these are sets that are going to be used going forward, and there's a lot here. We're not going to belabor it, but I'm just going to kind of explain to you sort of how some things were done here that I know of. Some things here I'm not even sure how he accomplished it, but we'll see a couple of configurations and whatnot. First things first, we're going to look at the actual set pieces and get those out of the way before we sort of look at the setup for how the sets kind of work. And first things first, here we have Megatron's throne at Darkmount. And my understanding is that the Decepticon, I guess, images that are here were pretty much designed by Dragonfly himself, I do believe. And I would imagine what he did is print off several of them. They've been cut, they've been folded to fit over foam pieces that have been cut into the proper shape for the throne. I'm not sure what the base is made out of. It's obviously plastic. It's obviously coated and covered with black, I assume, paint, but there's definitely more done to it than that, because right up underneath you can see, like, it's blue, right? And it's like a child-proof cap or something. Like, the base is the base. But the chair is made, and there's a Decepticon logo put there just for interest's sake, and just so people know. Now I do have to do a little bit of finagling with him here. But I can, for example, if I can do it, I had it done. I suppose I won't do it now. But like you know, there's Hegemon in the throne. It's rough. I can do it better, but he fits in the throne. Something like Starscream, like Earthrise Starscream, for example, he works pretty awkwardly, mostly because his legs can't really get in a full seated pose very easily. Shockwave can work pretty well. Earthrise Megatron can sit like a champion in it, as can the character that this throne was made for, which is actually Leader Class Overlord. So Leader Class Overlord from Titan's Return also fits here. You may say, hey, his feet aren't touching. The idea is that you would have a step down from the throne anyway, so the throne would be a little bit higher. Except for the case of Overlord, who obviously his feet would touch the ground. But yeah, this is the throne at Darkmount, and I love it. And next up we have the Decepticon Central Computer. This is the one aboard their ship that crashed under the ocean. I always thought that was the Nemesis, but apparently that had a different name. I don't know. But this is that computer. I think we all know it. We know, you know, that kind of main base computer for the Decepticons. As you can see here, I am showing it with Shockwave from Siege, Earthrise Starscream, Toy World's Hegemon. You know, they scale fine. Yeah, this is the size that this should be. Again, it is made out of molded foam that is covered with the, I guess, the printed images and paper and whatnot. Just taking these guys out of it just so you can see the computer itself. This was obviously printed on like glossy photo paper. You know, we do have the schematic here on the screen, and we have a number of schematics on the screen, which is kind of good because, you know, we could see a map and we could see, you know, schematics of different characters and stuff. So I kind of dig that. We have little displays on either side. We have the various displays and buttons and control panels and everything else along the front. This, to me, looks like the Decepticon Central Computer. Of course, it's not quite as iconic as Teletran 1 itself. Yeah, again, this looks about as good for scale, probably, as you're gonna get. Some might say, hey, it should be bigger because this is a huge computer. Some might say, hey, the main screen should be gigantic. I get it. But I feel like for placement of the screens, size of the screens, placement of like the controls and whatnot, for adhering for Deluxes and Voyagers especially, this makes sense. Even modern day leaders, more traditional leaders might be a bit bigger than this, but you know what, maybe that makes sense. Maybe they should be a bit bigger. Yeah, no, to me this makes sense. This is absolutely usable. This is the right scale. Again, it's done the same way. He did, Dragonfly did kind of send me pictures almost along the way of each of these things being cut out. Now you could just put them together. He has it solidified, again with, I'm assuming it's more foam inside, but it's pretty solid. Like, this is not hollow and put together. Like, I'm not gonna take it and crush it or anything. This is solid. I love that he took the care and attention to detail to actually make those screens indented rather than just there with some shading. Besides that, again, we have a number of displays and schematics for a number of different characters or locations or whatever you prefer, but it is definitely in the spirit of like Autobot Gold. You know, there's our side and there's our back. It's pretty plain on those. But yeah, Teletran 1. And that brings us to the kind of set pieces themselves. And yes, indeed, we have the set pieces here. And honestly, there's 14, 15 of them here. And this is a set piece that comes with like the Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy series. I wanted to just show this because, of course, this is obviously going to be Autobot Gold, but like here it is next to one of these set pieces just so you can see. The custom set pieces are a little bit brighter than what's coming with the Netflix War for Cybertron series. Not that that's bad by any stretch of the imagination. So we have a number of these. They are different. I'll sort of like quickly sort of fly through them in a moment, but the way they're done is sort of ingenious for a couple of reasons. One, again, it's done as you were able to tell on this foam that has been cut. This is photo paper, but the other side is the Decepticon side. So if I'm doing a scene with Autobots, I use one side. If I'm doing a scene with Decepticons, I use the other side. How do I make these stand? He has a number of these little adapters, and the idea is that you, for example, will put one down there and one down at the other end, and they will hold this up like that, for example. I wonder, I'm going to try it here now just to see. Will they work? They'll work if you put them on the side there too, like that. So like if I wanted to put floor pieces out here, I could definitely do that. No problem with these on to help solidify the stand. So like that's cool. In terms of the Autobot ones, I'll just cycle through them. Some of these I'm sure will be doubled, but in terms of the Autobot ones, we have this one, this one, this one, and you can see like they're all in the same spirit, but they're slightly different. This one is much different because it's actually a window to outside, right? That one is an actual window that actually shows battle outside. Oh, there's that one. There's this one. There's that one. And this one. What about the Decepticon side of things? Let's again run through these. So we have that one. This one is, again, it is a display panel or a window. Actually, I think that one's a display panel. Yeah, I think that one is not a window. I think that one is a display panel. Then we have this one. I think that is like a lock for a space bridge, leading into a space bridge, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what I was told. Oh, outside the window, again we have Unicron approaching. That's not what you want to see. I have these upside down. Outside the window, ocean, right, where they're underwater. Another ocean one. Just one with the Decepticon logo. Again, another window. Or maybe that's like a display schematic thing. Little more, I feel like a little more variation actually in the Decepticon ones than the Autobot ones. And that's that. But perhaps the most interesting piece of all this is the most customizable piece of all this. And that customizable piece would be this. Unlike others, this is actually, I think, a piece of plexiglass with the window put onto it. And there's magnetic strips that have been glued down the back, and we use these small magnets here to hold on, take that one off, different images on the back of this screen. So that was one. We could just as easily use the magnets and have this image in behind. Or some of these I know what they are, some of them I don't. And you don't even need to put them back here. Like they could just be kind of stock images used, you know, throughout. Like if I wanted a picture, of, you know, just the planet, just like on Cybertron. I mean, I could easily just incorporate a picture of this, right? Speaking of Cybertron, like, you know, here's Cybertron itself. One of the planets, I don't know, Char maybe. It's low res, but you can see the effects of destruction there. And all these could go in behind. Here's one with Skylinks in it approaching. Another one. And again, remember, all these can go in behind this. That one, that doesn't look like a good planet. Quintessa maybe? Maybe that's Quintessa. Perhaps. Planet of Junk. I remember this gate thing. And last but not least, a Quintesson ship. And of course, again, like all these can go in behind, oh, there's a Quintesson ship approaching. So I think all that's great. I really do. So how effective is it for actually kind of working together as a set? Well, here's an example of an Autobot possibility. Yeah, man, now that looks like a scene at the Autobot headquarters. Like, yeah, I believe this. I believe that this is at the Autobot headquarters. I love the way that this turned out and looks. What about for the Decepticons? Well, go ahead and judge for yourself. Megatron is looking intently at the screen, obviously barking some sort of orders to Starscream and Shockwave. I think that these worked out great. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world for helping to put you in the moment. I don't have the design capabilities myself. I don't have the time myself to do this, but it's the things like this that exponentially help to make things have an extra sense of realism. So to have Dragonfly on board as like a set designer, set maker is going to make all the difference. Honestly, I know it's subjective, but I'm going to say that these set pieces, because they make the difference, I'm going to say they're 10, man. I mean, what do you want? I know it's subjective, and I know that there's different options out there for set pieces, but I can't argue against how effective these work for both the Autobots and the Decepticons. And here we are once again. So now you know what we have for the Autobots. Teletran 1 and like Autobot walls, floors. But those walls, floors can be switched to be used for the Decepticons, which we have the Decepticon main computer as well as a throne for Megatron or whoever is leading the Decepticons. I love it. I think that it really helps to immerse people, myself included, into what's going on. It really helps to, reflect some of the light and stuff too, so it helps with that sort of thing as well, the lighting. There's a lot of advantages to having these sets. It's not my forte to be able to make them. I don't have that vision. I don't really have that ability, to be honest with you. My abilities lie elsewhere. I'm sure I could muddle through it, maybe even better than I've done if I really tried, but you need the time to do it. I don't have it. Dragonfly thankfully did and has sent this stuff my way. It is a tremendous, tremendous help. It will be a huge help in Season 3. Now, before anybody in the comments asks, where is the Season 2 finale? I'm working on it, man. Like I said, I'm working on it. It's a slow go because they are 2 big episodes, and I want to present episode 12 and 13 of Season 2 together. But as for the sets, huge thank you to Dragonfly. Can't do it without you, buddy. I appreciate you guys coming by. Give me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube. But while you're at it, man, hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us. And don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.